signs of a struggle. Looks like misadventure to me.
I don't know. Break like that? It's hard to give yourself.
I assume you intend to pursue this line of thinking.
Well, I can't say I've met one like you before, but I'm sure you hear that all the time. Did Remio put you up to this? That cad, always trying to rile me up. No, you should probably find Adelgund, that absolute hag. She's probably wandered off to the Western Gate, attracted to the hubbub from earlier.
Envoy. Ironic. No. Paradis clearly understands your intent.
Careful, he could be a messenger. Or this could get interesting.
After what you've done, you cannot imagine we would ignore you. My compatriots have observed your judgment. We have a message for you. We do not give second warnings. Consider this one carefully.
You're Messi Verno, huh? Guess if you're looking for an animancer, that's the place to go. I suppose rations and the occasional small game isn't enough for you. Maybe I'll stop taking Kai on hunts. We'll get a lot more meat without him trying to, help. Aye, Your Majesty. Let us traverse the deadly forest so you can enjoy your delicious vegetables. I've led a few people there from Paradis or Thirdborn, and I've almost lost someone on every trip.
Someone slipping.
I said almost. Huh, right. You'll see when you get there. Right, changing the subject. Right, what do you want to know? Let's see. Normally you look for some shelter first. Cut down a few small trees, gather moss to keep the wind out. Nothing too elaborate. With so little tree cover, you want to keep moving. The reeds near the coast make great fibers or rope, so you can lash branches together and make a decent roof. Of course, we're always moving, so we just make a quick camp and carry on. So you don't have to worry about all that. Huh. Heard an envoy from Adir showed up and got himself killed. Other than that, nothing. Honestly, I don't listen out for gossip much. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. Honestly, not much out here you need to worry about. Bears, Zarps, spiders, bandits. You want to make your camp look larger and scarier than it is. Keep a fire going, make a lot of noise, hide most of your food. Bears, spiders, and Zarps usually won't attack if they don't think it's worth the trouble. Act like you're tougher than they are. Now, bandits, that's something else. I'd rather run into a bear than one of them any day. Lovely place, as the Living Lands goes. I advise most people to stay around here if they're looking to settle. Paradise isn't the safest place in the world, but it is the safest place in the lands. Walls and guards go a long way out here. Other than that, you've got bits of forest, grasslands, some caves, cliffs, and all sorts of things to get you into trouble. This is the easiest place to survive in the living lands. Enjoy it while it lasts. Let's see. If you can make a rope, you can make a net and get yourself some fish. The rough seas make fish stay close to shore most of the time. You want to look in the fish's eyes when you catch it. Cloudy eyes, toss it back. Clear eyes, can't lose. When you're cleaning them, check their swim bladder for worms. Always. You don't want that kind of awful night. Trust me. And always give them a little pinch to make sure they're not a shape-shifted wizard or something. Happens more than I'd like. Word is the hunting in the Strangleroot has been a lot better since someone cleared out the diseased bear that lived out there. I never hunt out there, but a lot of people owe someone a word of thanks and a half a jug of Wodak. What? Gods, you should have led with that information. Actually, better keep it to yourself. You don't want thump-chested Nimdudes coming after you like the ones who come after me. Right. Good talk. You should keep an eye on that scrape on your arm. You don't want it to get infected.
It barely even counts as a scrape.
That's the worst kind of flesh wounds. Lots of open skin cover.
Not everyone warrants an assassination attempt, you know. You should be flattered. The adherent court's more interesting than I had assumed. More cutthroat, too. It's too bad. Now that the Steel Garrote has made an example of him, others will think twice before trusting Adira and Mercy. If that's your way of trying to bring justice to the frontier, you and your people have an uphill battle ahead. To Ambassador Hilgard's credit, this is about the tamest Paradise has ever been. In days past, your murder would have barely made the town crier's announcements. Now, open bloodshed is relatively rare, in most corners of the city anyway. To some, others, like Eagwolf, see the firm hand of authority closing around their necks. And Ludwig and the Steel Garrote are only making matters worse. You're far from the only one to say so. Your ambassador and the rest of the Adiran forces have been dragging the frontier, kicking and screaming towards order and civilization. All the things that half of us moved here to escape. Then, one day, Ludwig and the Steel Garrote show up to reinforce the Adiran presence, and they're as harsh as Wodaka herself. Strict is one thing, fanatical's another. The Rawatayan Navy's known for harsh punishment. When I served, we watched a gunner hold a red-hot cannonball, all for trading some of our supplies on the side, mind you. It also resulted in one of the most effective navies in Aora, or so the argument goes. However, that approach won't win many allies in the living lands, as Ludwig will find out. Judging from that meeting, Ambassador Hilgard and Ludwig don't see eye to eye. I'm afraid that means trouble on the horizon, especially if Ludwig starts operating around him. Like it or not, their differences could make trouble for you, especially since the Steel Garrote is here under Adir's flag. And I worry about what that means for the rest of us. Just thinking about Claviger Amon. I let him down. I've let a few people down over the years. But I did promise someone once that I'd do my part to look after all of us riffraff who've made a home here. My best chance of doing that is helping you investigate this plague and keep a lid on tensions. And, hopefully, fend off any future assassination attempts. If you're going to put a stop to what we saw in the Strangleroot, I don't care what power you serve. None of us have a future if the Dream Scourge spreads. I think that's enough doom and gloom for one night. Sleep easy, Envoy. As best you can. So did my commanding officers. I joined up with the Rowatine Navy as soon as I was old enough. I was part of our campaign to establish a foothold in the Deadfire Archipelago. Part of a long-term effort to reclaim our ancestral homeland and feed Rawatai from Deadfire's fertile soil. I believed in that mission. Additionally, we were helping Deadfire, bringing organization to the pirate-ridden archipelago and civilization to our distant Wana cousins. I was young and naive, and maybe that's no excuse. The Huana didn't want us there. We spent almost as much time fighting the tribes as we did pirates and Wilder. And it was hard to see how any of our fighting and dying was feeding people back home. I'd always heard that war was supposed to temper us, strengthen us, but I didn't see that either. I deserted, and I bounced between different mercenary companies for almost 10 years. Hey, not all of us catch on so quick. Besides, there were only so many options for a Rawatayan deserter with no training and anything else. As a mercenary, I figured I could at least choose my battles and my crew. He figured it out and was more... Yeah. Get some rest on, boy.